You're born in 12th century England. Your parents? Peasants. Yeah, that means your life is already set in stone. From the moment you take your first breath, the struggle begins. Your parents work back-breaking hours on a noble's farm. They're barely scraping by. And guess what? You're expected to do the same. Your diet? Bread, vegetables, and fish if you're lucky. Meat? That's a luxury only the rich can afford. Your future? Work hard, stay loyal to your noble master maybe. Just maybe. You'll own a tiny house one day, die in your 30s, leave your kids to do the same. No wealth, no glory, just another faceless peasant. Then one day, your father tells you something that changes everything. There's a way out, a shot at a better life. But here's the catch. It won't be easy. But then again, can it really be harder than working the fields forever? Your father's plan? He knows a blacksmith in the city. And this guy? He's everything your father isn't. Rich, respected, and actually important. He makes weapons for the nobles, and your father wants you to go learn from him. This is it. Your shot at escaping the life of a peasant. So at just 8 years old, your parents send you off to the city. And let me tell you, when you see the city, it's nothing like your tiny village. The city is loud, packed with people, and smells like a weird mix of animals, sweat, and burning fires. It's overwhelming, like nothing you've ever seen before. As you walk through the bustling streets, you're dazzled by the endless maze of buildings, the loud chatter, the colorful markets, and the constant movement. You finally reach the blacksmith's forge, and suddenly you start questioning your life choices. It's chaos. The place is packed with kids just like you, running around, hammering metal, and shouting orders. You feel out of place. You're just a kid from a farm. You don't belong here. Then, the blacksmith spots you. He looks you up and down and barks, "Change your clothes and get to work." Wait, immediately? No settling in? No welcome to your new life? Nope. You're thrust straight into the grind. You're an apprentice now. As an apprentice, your life is grueling. No time for rest. No time for fun. Your days are filled with activities like fetching water, hauling charcoal, and keeping the forge hot with the bellows. From dawn until dusk, you work. And if you slack off, you're back to the farm, shoveling manure for a noble. There's no second chance in this world. The competition is brutal. Every kid around you is hungry for this opportunity. They'd kill to take your place. And speaking of slacking off, who knew that back pain and joint pain could start at 10 years old? Carrying water buckets and hauling coal sacks every day isn't exactly kind to your spine. Turns out, manual labor at this age doesn't just build muscles, it builds pain. But it's not just about brute strength. You're constantly observing, watching, learning, absorbing every movement from the master and the senior apprentices. Because here, you're not paid in coins, you're paid in food. And if you don't prove you're worth every scrap of bread, you won't get any. Simple as that. The pressure's on, but you push through. This is your shot at something bigger than the life you were born into. The competition among the apprentices is intense. Take James, for example. He's the kid who'll sell his soul to impress the master, always showing off, trying to be the best. Then there's Henry. His dad's a prominent blacksmith in another city, so he's got an in with the master. And Richard, he's basically a metalworking prodigy. And you're just another kid trying to survive. You can feel the weight of expectation pressing down on you. Every move you make is scrutinized. Every task you complete is compared to the others. And all you can do is watch, learn, and hope that your efforts are enough. And just when you think you've figured it out, you're reminded you're not the best. But you don't back down. You can't. Not now. This is your chance at a better life. A future beyond being another faceless peasant in the fields. Being an apprentice means working hard from sunrise to sunset. There's no rest, no time to complain. You're constantly moving, fetching water, gathering charcoal, and stoking the fire. But what they don't tell you is the toll it takes on your body. You're just 10 years old and already your back aches, your joints are sore, and your hands are raw from constant labor. But it's necessary. This is your life now. And don't even think about slacking off. If you don't prove yourself every day, you'll find yourself back on the farm, slaving away for a noble's pittance. The competition isn't just with your fellow apprentices, it's with yourself. Every day is a test of strength and resilience. But it's also a test of patience, learning the trade, following the master's orders without question, and hoping that one day you'll get the recognition you deserve. The life of an apprentice is not only about working hard, it's about surviving the punishments. If you break the rules, if you slack off, or if you anger your master, you're in for extra work hours. Sometimes the punishment is even worse. Starvation. Fail to impress, and you're out. No second chances. One wrong move, and it's game over. You've lost your meal ticket. All the dreams of escaping your peasant life, gone in an instant. The pressure is unbearable. You're constantly walking a tightrope, juggling tasks while trying not to upset anyone. One wrong move could send you back to the life of a farmhand. No one wants that. But can you keep up? Can you stay focused enough to survive the brutal apprenticeship? After years of sweating over the forge, the day finally arrives. You graduate from apprentice to blacksmith. You've worked your fingers to the bone, honed your skills, and paid your dues. You're finally ready to take on the responsibility of working with weapons and tools, not just fetching water or hauling charcoal. But the work doesn't stop. In fact, it intensifies. The master calls you over, looks you up and down, and finally acknowledges your hard work. He hands you two choices: stay and work for him. You'll be a real blacksmith, earning wages and living a stable life. Become a journeyman, traveling from town to town, working wherever you can find a job. It's a gamble. You could make it big, or you could end up starving on the streets. You hesitate. Security sounds nice, but there's something about the idea of carving out your own destiny that pulls you in. The risk of being a journeyman is daunting, but it's your shot at greatness. You make your choice. You become a journeyman. You leave your master behind and venture into the unknown, thinking you're ready to face the world. But what you don't expect is the reality of journeyman life. For weeks, you find no work. You're hungry, tired, and completely alone. The streets are rough, and every night you sleep in damp barns or dirty alleys, doing whatever you can to survive. You sharpen knives for street vendors, clean stalls, and beg for food. Then, finally, you land your first gig. A farmer's hoe needs fixing. You're desperate enough to take it for a day's meal. But after that, another week of nothing. And at this point, you feel like a beggar, not a blacksmith. Months pass. You're barely scraping by. But then, something changes. You land another job, and this time, it's paid work. No more working for scraps. You fix tools, weapons, and anything that needs mending. Slowly, you build up a reputation. Job by job, coin by coin, you climb the ranks. The hunger fades, the desperation wanes, and you start to invest in your future. You travel from town to town, learning more advanced blacksmithing techniques and becoming more skilled. And when you return to the city, you're not the same kid. You've transformed into a damn good blacksmith. You're now a master at your craft, with the reputation to back it up. Word spreads fast. The city is buzzing with talk of your blacksmithing skills. Nobles, mercenaries, and even army generals start lining up to hire you. But fame has its price. These aren't the type of people who negotiate. They don't ask politely, they take. And then a civil war erupts. Blacksmiths like you are now valuable weapons. You're sought after by lords and generals, all fighting to control the city. One day, you hear whispers that someone is planning to kidnap you, to force you into a life of working for them like a slave. With the threat of kidnapping looming, you vanish. For a month, you go into hiding, avoiding the dangers that could ruin everything. You sleep in barns, stables, and haylofts, hoping that no one finds you. Eventually, the war subsides, and the danger passes. By the time things settle down, you're still free, and you've made it through the worst of it. At 22, your journeyman days are over. You're no longer the desperate kid you once were. You've earned your freedom. You're a master blacksmith, working for the powerful lords of the city. You build your own forge, move into a grand home, and live a life you once dreamed of. But success comes at a price. Your patron, the lord who hired you, needs weapons, swords, axes, chainmail, and more. The forge runs day and night, just like it did when you were an apprentice. And you're no longer just a blacksmith. You're leading a workforce, building an empire of your own. But as you get older, you start feeling the toll of the work. Your health begins to fail, the fumes from the forge take their toll, and the weight of your success weighs heavily on your shoulders. Lead poisoning starts to set in. Your body is breaking down, but even as you approach your final years, you've changed the world. You built an empire, and your legacy will live on, even as your own body starts to fade. At the end of your life, you've defied the odds, gone from a peasant to a master blacksmith. You've fought for survival, carved out your destiny, and built a legacy. But the question remains, was it worth it? If you found this journey of survival inspiring, like, share, and subscribe for more stories of resilience, ambition, and survival against all odds.